Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with me, Hobo. Today we're going to have a little bit of a break from the norm. I know that we were working on getting the base up onto the Mun, but just for today I want to do something slightly different. Now I'll explain this in stages. Number one is the list of the ships, and you'll be familiar with most of these, and Celeste is where we got to, but then there's these ones here, the Minmus tri-ships. Now I mentioned these before, that these are ships that I have saved in another game, which I keep to myself, and I don't like to let the two cross over into each other so that you guys know exactly where we are. However, one of the subscribers, he texted me the other day. We're actually friends in real life, and he had some bad news that a mutual friend, his boss, had passed away. So I don't know. I always feel a little bit uncomfortable with death and how to grieve, or how to respect and respond. I'm not very good with it. So I'm gonna try and do something which I've not done before. I've never had YouTube as an outlet before. So what I want to do is rename one of these and actually get it up to Minmus. But this is going to be a one-way ticket, and I do want it to be a success. So the chances are there's going to be a lot of cuts in this, rather than what you've seen in the past, where you get every single trial and fail. I'm hoping to get this done in one episode. It might run over into two. If I get to Minmus and I crash, I'll include that. And if I eventually run out of time and I've still not been successful, then I'll summarise it. But I really would like to, as a mark of respect, get a monument up on Minmus. So that's basically going to be it. We're going to go with this one. And it's going to be renamed the MMM, which is going to stand for Malcolm Minmus Memorial. I hope that the fella, the subscriber who I know in real life finds this in good taste, and with the sorry, with the affection it's meant with. He was a good friend. He was a very, very good guy. Taken before his time as well, but so just a little bit about the rocket then. This is the 7th generation. Now I know it said 8 on the original name, but there was 2 was missing from that list. So it went from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's actually 7 in total there. We'll cancel that off. Effectively, it's all of this blows with this solid rocket, and then it fires each of these as these tanks burn through, and then this is the second stage. It is slow getting off the line. It's very slow. I think at about 500 meters, it's still being outrun by a human being, a human Olympic sprinter. But it does have the legs to get up to Minmus, and that's what we're after today. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we're going to launch. So I'm just going to basically break orbit, and then I'll probably cut away once we have this. Might not be the right one, actually. It might be the generation before. I think it got too heavy with these 4 rockets. Yeah, I'm going to go back, actually. I'm going to end that flight. I'm going to put the other one up. Yeah, so I'm going to break orbit. I won't bother. I'm going to break the surface. I'll put it into orbit off camera, and then I will come back to do the adjustment for Minmus itself, and then I will. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Yeah. And then I will come back as we approach Minmus. So largely the same design, we're just missing one solid fuel, which makes it a bit lighter, and therefore it should put up a bit more of a fight. So I'm going to rename it again, but it's not going to be a Mark II. I'm just going to save over it. Because ideally what I wanted, I know that second stage, this one here, we don't actually need that much fuel, but it's so complicated and took so long to get all of these stages together. I don't want to take the fuel tanks out and have to redesign everything. Like I say, this is pretty normal. Like I say, it's a slow beast. You see, it's gaining less than 1 meter per second but it will. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you know, obviously, the longer we're burning for, the lighter we're getting. But for such a big, slow beast, it does fly reasonably true as well, which is quite important. So now it's starting to look at picking up 1 meter per second, and that's coming up to 1,000 mark. There we go. That's it now then. So we are starting to make some progress. A very expensive rocket to get off the ground. So we're going to blow this last stage. Okay, then we'll start dropping a bit of speed now, but eventually we'll start to level back out again and this number will start to climb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into an orbit and I'm going to come back when the orbit's been achieved and we're getting ready to start the Minmus burn. I wonder if that's Minmus or the Mun. Guess it must be Minmus then. Yeah, that would look about right. Well, of course, it could just be a dot. Yeah, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, everyone. Sorry, just had to end that flight and come back again because I realised that I hadn't put any landing legs onto the spacecraft. So that's now been taken care of. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get to the, going to put it into orbit, get into a position where we're ready to start shooting off the Minmus, and I will be back shortly. So, as you can see, we still haven't broken the atmosphere yet, but we're just about to start running out of fuel for this stage. So I wanted to do this separation, and hopefully it won't have taken any fuel out of that stage, but it is drinking this fuel. Now I don't know where this fuel's coming from. Oh, it's coming from the bottom there. Right, so I don't know why that's in that stage. Like I say, it's a complicated setup, this one. But yeah, I wanted to come in for this separation. The other thing I noticed as well is we've got the original 3 brothers back, Bill, Bob and Jeb. I'm sure that everyone will agree there's no finer 3 astronauts to carry out such a mission. There we go. And we're just going to roll this way a bit more. I'll go over here. Let's burn. Bang. I think we may need a little bit more lift than that because we are rapidly running out of altitude. Oh, actually, so what's the crack with this then? Okay, it's slowly coming down, but it's getting wider. It's quicker than it is getting shorter. So maybe, just maybe, this might be. I think that looks good. Despite the fact you actually don't want to be on the 270 mark to get out to Minmus, because Minmus has a weird orbit. You see, that if that's the Mun, you see how Minmus sits around it, and I don't know how to gauge this. But anyway, back to the job in hand. Let's get this orbit. Oh yeah, no, I was going to get the orbit sorted off camera, so I'll be back in a moment.